Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, the definition of insanity. Crazy lady demands assistance with a product we don't sell. Lady is convinced I am a wizard. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. The definition of insanity. I actually have a tech repair shop role, so I no longer am tech adjacent like I have been in my previous posts. Insert level up graphic and sound effect here. So the place I now work at repairs mostly phones, but we also do a bit of everything. Enter the customer, who is the literal definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I'll call him Picnic or PN for short. In this case, replace the traditional chair with customer and computer with cell. So PN comes in on a busy morning about 2 weeks ago when I'm working on checking people in. Anyway, he explains he is getting pop-up/adware on his phone, which in my opinion takes skill. It's not a particularly useful or helpful skill, but it is a talent and mildly impressive. I am new. I will officially have worked here for a month on this upcoming Monday, so I forget to get the unlock passcode, and this particular type of phone doesn't prompt me for that in the check-in process. Anyway, I tell him it will be a couple hours, and we will call back when we have news/a quote. 2 things to know about Nick. He likes to talk. Because I am female, I believe he was more polite, and because it was at the beginning of this saga, he actually lets me get in the words I need to understand what the problem is and check him in. He's an older gentleman who very much gives off the I don't like change vibe. At this point, none of us know what a saga this will be. Unfortunately, it turns out we need to factory reset his phone, but if we get his passcode, we may be able to help transfer his data first. PN refuses to give us the passcode and comes to pick it up. We cannot do anything. Usually, after some patient explaining, most folks understand and either leave to go get a new phone, take it to get the data and bring it back to reset, or just leave empty-handed. Not this guy. Over the next day or so, PN calls the company that makes his phone, his carrier, I think the store that rhymes with West Guy or something like that. I was off for those 2 days, and basically shouts, and is a belligerent, unfriendly, pushy delight to all 3. The big box store actually resets, and then restores the phone, but whatever caused the adware to appear in the first place is reinstalled, so same issue. Nick calls again the next day I am in, and my boss, very patiently, explains that the phone needs to be factory reset, and cannot have all the apps restored for the above mentioned reason. Rinse and repeat the above for the next week and a half. With varying reiterations of you need to factory reset it, different coworkers either saying they will stay late or come in on their days off to help him reset it, and others listening to at least half an hour tirades about the issues and what to do. I think a couple of the calls were like 2 hours of this guy rambling. Basically, we are pretty much done with Nick because he will not do what we told him to do, and we are done with him at all 3 area locations. But wonder of all wonders, he actually brought it in Thursday evening to one of the other locations to get it factory reset. Normally this is where the story would end. Said other local location even blacklisted him after they reset it. But oh no. Between the saga of phone calls in which he continues to ask what to do, gets the same answer, and not do it, he had changed carriers. Which now results in his phone no longer connecting to the network. It sometimes happens that way, and there is legit nothing anyone can do. Particularly with the carrier he switched to. I am too new to know why this particular carrier is special, but it's something I've been warned about. So cue this gem of a conversation I overheard today, while I was in the back repairing a screen under the watchful eye of the aforementioned boss, still learning, so he answers questions/gives me help and tips as I work on said phone. Boss, thank you for calling store name, what can I help you with today? PN: Hi, I'm calling because my phone no longer wants to connect to the network, and your other location must be very busy, because I can't get a hold of anyone there. Blacklisting means he can still call and leave messages, but it doesn't ring in this case. Boss: Yes, I think I recognize your voice. Unfortunately, if the factory reset doesn't fix that issue, like you did yesterday, then there is nothing we can do. PN, but I like this phone. It's been a good phone up until the ads started popping up. It works well for me and they went away last night, but now it won't connect to the network. Can't you fix it? Boss, places on speaker so he can help me with something as he chats to Nick. I understand, but as I said before, there is nothing we can do. You need to get a new phone through your new carrier. And rinse and repeat for about 5 to 10 minutes, in which Nick basically says the exact same thing in different phrasing. Meanwhile, all of us are attempting not to laugh, because he keeps going on, and we have been dealing with him for 2 weeks now. Eventually the boss gets done and falls completely silent, and eventually the guy says okay bye and hangs up. PN would have continued forever if he hadn't done that. Cue everyone laughing at his ridiculous mannerisms and praising said boss's clever way of hanging up / dropping the call. And we still aren't done for. My boss's manager / manager of the 3 local stores, including our own, calls shortly after and instructs my boss to blacklist him at this store. Also to let my boss vent. PN actually makes an appointment for later on. We obviously decline it. Those messages he kept leaving at the first store that blacklisted Nick? They are, for all we know, in Morse code. I think we got busy and had to stop trying to translate before we could plug it into something to figure out what the knocks meant. I'll edit if they mean anything. So yeah, this is where the saga ends for now. We'll edit if it develops further, but I think he's blacklisted in all 3 locations, so he would have to come in physically to continue to complain and ramble our ears off. Crazy lady demands assistance with a product we don't sell. A woman submitted an email ticket for help accessing her account. Okay, easy stuff. I reply, ask her username, but can't find it in the database. She insists it's correct, so I ask her to send a screenshot of the error notification she's receiving. When she does, I notice she's trying to log into some random website I've never even heard of. I have no idea how she ended up with our contact information. I tell her the site she's trying to access isn't a product of our company and to reach out to their customer support. I then close the ticket. But alas, that's not the end. She calls into the support line, and I happen to be the one to answer the phone. After I say thank you for calling Anonymous Medical Company, this is Hungry Hippo. How can I help you? She responds with, is this the Hungry Hippo who refused to help me get access to my account? And I immediately know this is going to be a fun call. She basically insists that it's my job to get access to her account. My response is that it's not because she's asking about a product we don't even sell. She says she's not hanging up until I help her, so I relent and Google the software, find their customer support number, and attempt to give it to her. After I recite the number, she goes silent for a couple seconds, and then says, what do I do with this? I called you for a reason. Why are you trying so hard to avoid doing what you get paid to do? I asked her what hospital she works for, and I did notice that they do have an account with some of our products, except the product she was needing help with isn't one of ours. I tell her this, and she just isn't grasping it. I finally get pissed off and say, ma'am, this is not a product we sell. There's nothing I can do aside from pass their contact number, and she says, well, we're going to sit here all day, because I'm not getting off this line until I'm helped. I chuckle a little to myself and hang up. She immediately calls back. I see it on the caller ID and decide to just let it ring for a bit to see if she gives up. I alert the other techs, and after a good laugh at her expense, my manager picks up the phone. He tells her the same thing I did, and again, she insists on being helped. After she whines some more, he tells her there's no assistance we can offer with a product we don't sell and hangs up again. That's the end of her tirade, right? Nope. She then begins spamming the chat. I closed the first one immediately, and she opened a new one. I finally called the hospital she worked for, and thankfully someone else picked up the phone. I asked to speak to a manager, told her what happening, and she apologized and insisted it would stop. The lady immediately quit spamming us. I hope she was immensely embarrassed when she finally realized she was an idiot calling the wrong number. Her final send-off was giving me a 1/5 rating on the initial email ticket she submitted. Legend has it, she to this day has yet to gain access to her account. Lady is convinced I am a wizard. Lady, I need some files off of my computer so I can bill customers. Get them for me. Me, I would be happy to do that, but the PC is offline. Lady, I know that. There was a big fire and there's no internet or power. It won't be back up for weeks. Me. Are the files you need backed up / stored in the cloud? Lady, no. They are only on my computer. Get them for me. I know you can get into it, you all have done it before. Me, unfortunately, I cannot access a PC that is not on and not connected to the internet. Lady, yes you can. They've done it before. Me, not possible. Lady, I find that hard to believe. What kind of terrible system would operate that way? Me, all of them. You can ship the PC to me, and I will access the files, or I can send a tech today to pull the hard drive if the building is deemed safe. Lady, no. Just do it from there. Me, over this conversation can't. Lady, well I guess I will have to hand write everything. What a terrible system. Me, okay, let me know if you change your mind. Bye. Shortly thereafter, I got an email from another department telling me this lady has been calling everyone to find the magical person who can remote into her machine located in a building with no internet or power. They're out there somewhere, she just knows it.